Hi, it's Brian Blanchard, VP of Cloud Solutions for 10th Magnitude, and today we're going to do a repeat of a presentation from Microsoft Inspire focused specifically on IoT and how autonomous vehicles are already impacting your data projects. All right, so jumping right in here. So the whole topic of this is autonomous vehicles. We've seen a lot of evolution in the autonomous vehicle space. And I'm really interested in this space because what it represents is the perfect culmination of business intelligence. We create business intelligence scenarios because we want to create an action in the business. That's exactly what autonomous vehicles are. They're a real-time intelligence of the environment around them, instantly converted to action to give us a vehicle. And it's motion throughout a course. So what we have on the screen here is a Mercedes-Benz autonomous vehicle that's fully state autonomous to the point where driver and passenger can engage in a conversation in the vehicle as it moves through the streets. And what's interesting is if we look at this model, we can use this as a way that we can reference IoT in our data projects today. So let's step through that a little bit. Autonomous vehicles didn't happen overnight, and your BI project isn't going to evolve overnight either. So the US government has put together a series of levels of autonomous vehicle. You can find this on Wikipedia. First level, level 0, is we're issuing a warning, but there's no vehicle control. So this is some of the early stage detection systems, like I see a vehicle next to me. When I turn on my turn signal, I'm going to get a notice that there's someone in my blind spot. But it doesn't do anything. In my mind, that's what BI does a lot of times today. It issues a warning and lets us know there's danger in a business process, but it doesn't tell us how to act. So the next level up is hands-on. These are things like parking assistance. There's some interaction there, but it's really limited. And we evolve a little bit further, and now we get into the hands-off model. So this is where the vehicle can drive the car, but it's expected that the driver's going to take over. So you could take your hands off the wheel and safely send a text and not worry about an accident. Then we go deeper and we get into eyes off, and now we're expecting that we can take our hands off even further, so we can actually engage in a conversation or a text. We can watch a movie, we can disengage for a period of time, but we have to have that ability to take over and be able to control the vehicle. Then later on we get to the mind off model, where if you want, the driver can go to sleep. You can get out of the seat and move around, but you still have the ability to take control or abort the trip if you need to. And at the heightened state, we get to wheels optional. This is where we don't even need human intervention. And this is what that Mercedes-Benz started to represent, or more accurately, if you can see in the picture here, this is what we saw in the Total Recall movie, where you could just sit in the back and enjoy the ride and not have to be involved with the road. Now, the problem is, though, that there's a lot of work to get here, and just like in Total Recall, that can be a frustrating experience and make you want to rip your BI solution right out of the ground, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger did. So what we want to show here is a way that we can evolve to this type of model, or close to it, without frustration. Now, I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret, though. When we talk about IoT and BI today, we're nowhere near this stage. Where we're actually at is closer to 2004 Volvo S40, which was the first vehicle to be able to tell you that there's a car in your blind spot. 73% of projects for companies that are investing millions in IoT and instantaneous intelligence and real-time actions are trying to get to the stage of a 2004 Volvo S40. I wouldn't really want to put millions of dollars into buying that particular vehicle, especially if I have the capabilities of a modern Mercedes-Benz. So let's look at this from a real-world scenario. We have the whole Cortana Analytics Suite in front of us, and what we're commonly seeing in those projects that are targeting the Volvo S40 model, they're working on early-stage Hadoop, Spark, and Storm. They may be doing some machine learning, which is awesome, working with Azure Data Analytics and Data Lake Analytics, and Azure Stream Analytics. These are starting to be more common in BI projects. We're seeing them all the time. So we're not talking about deviating too far from that. We're talking about integrating a couple of other pieces that 10M can partner with you to help build into your data project. So let's talk about making that real and how we can include that in your project, and just pro and con some of the different levels of a data project you can integrate in. So today, if you're looking at a traditional data project, you're assimilating data from various sources, you're organizing that data and getting it together, you're converting it into intelligence for the business, and then the business has to convert that intelligence into business outcomes. So in partnering on an IoT project for a better data outcome, we start looking at new sources of data. So not just how do we get data from the database systems, but can we get the data sooner from a device? Or can we pull it from an app or other non-structured sources? Then we get a little bit tighter and shorten the feedback loop through streaming and data cataloging so that when the data comes in real time, we can incorporate that stream into our data intelligence and data insights. But it's still part of organizing the data like you would with any data project. Then when we start to integrate those streams and other things, now we can start to do near real-time intelligence and maybe even eliminate human data entry to make that intelligence better. And then finally, the most important thing is with the IoT edge control capabilities and the IoT feedback loops, we can start to automate actions. So for instance, in a chemical manufacturing plant, there's a risk of explosion if the mixtures come in improperly. And on the Volvo S40 model, we would just simply notify people that the chemical mixture was off. But if we have real-time controls and the ability to provide a feedback loop into those systems, we can adjust those formulas the second or the millisecond down to when we notice those formulas are awry, thereby completely eliminating the risk of explosion or other dangerous hazards. So let's just look at how we can enable those same data projects. At 10M, we use that same type of model that they use for autonomous vehicles to evolve IoT. And start with the business side and figure out, is the advantage of this particular data solution simply insights only? Well, if that's the case, let's go with SQL DW or HDI or some other form of big data that we can implement in the cloud. But if we want to go a little bit further, now we can start with a level 1 and let's find a way that we can create hands-on actions. So which devices would we change based on this new intelligence? Can we push things out into the field? Or maybe hands-off actions. What are some bigger processes as a whole, holistically, that take multiple steps and multiple devices to learn from this new intelligence and shape the real world? Or can we even go deeper and start to look at data point KPIs that would indicate that it's time for a human to re-engage because the automation simply isn't enough? Or if we really want to go super far, in some cases we can get to full autonomous actions, where full business processes incorporate data flowing in from devices, intelligence happening in the cloud, decisions made, people notified, and systems updated simply by that data coming back to those devices. So this is when we start to see real partnership happen between BI teams and IoT teams to make full autonomous actions happen in the real world environment. And at 10M, this fits in really big with what we do. You probably know us for our ability to take on-prem assets, apply ASR, and pump out a bunch of motions into Azure IaaS. You may have even seen our adoption dashboards. But one of the new things that we've brought to market is a new digital transformation dashboard. And this gives us that type of insight. The ability to look at your whole data center, look at your applications, look at your data management philosophies and how you host infrastructure and applications in the cloud, and help put together those holistic visions for how can we get to autonomous actions, how can we better manage our environment, how can we better manage our data and our applications. So we're happy to help you out with a digital transformation dashboard and application of this type of model to see where autonomous actions can work for your business. So thanks for joining us today. Again, this is Brian Blanchard, VP of Cloud Solutions for 10th Magnitude, and I hope this helps shape your data projects based on what we're seeing with autonomous vehicles. Well, thanks for joining us today. I hope you found the video useful, and if you're interested in digging into how this particular model or our digital transformation dashboard can help plan out either your data center migration or building autonomous actions into your BI solutions, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to help you.